Welcome, Taurus, to your 12 house spread for the first half of November. We're just going to jump right in. So, in the first house, Taurus, you got the Death card. Whoa, this is going to be a big time for you, Taurus, particularly around rebirth. The beautiful thing about the Death card is that in this position, it's already happening. So, first house is your essence, your identity. Maybe you're dabbling in stuff you are normally too afraid to go to. And that's a really good thing because you're plumbing the depths. There's nothing like checking out where your blind spots may be and maybe checking with other people what your blind spots could be because it's hard for us to see them ourselves. So that's what I'm getting with this card, friend. What's the clarifier saying there?
I get the sense, Taurus, you're going through a beautiful renaissance period. Like Em was saying, a rebirth. So perhaps something like, oh, that's not me. I could never do that. You're like, why not me? I can do that, is the sense I get. And your clarifier, drum roll. Ah, interesting. Okay. So we have the Five of Swords. This kind of makes sense in your identity. Um, this is a battle that's been hard won. This is a victory, but it's come at a cost. So maybe you've had to fight for something around your identity, and I kind of get the sense that that's an internal fight. There's maybe an old belief system that's trying to hold you up and go like, no, no, that's not who you are. You can't do that. And you're like, why not me? Yes, I can. And I get the sense that you've won. You are now stepping into this new you. What a great start.
Hmm, great. Okay, in the second house, Taurus, you've got the Magician. Great card to have in that placement anyway, because you're manifesting exactly what you need. This card always asks us to check what you already have and see if you can transform it. But if you don't have it, how can you manifest it into your reality? And it's connected to your skills and things that you're good at, your experiences, your resources, and people can be resources, energy can be resources, your environment. So looking around you, just like the magician is in that card there in his surroundings for what tools he can utilize. What's the clarifier saying, Fran?
Mm. Oh, wow. Okay. So, Pentacles, you have the Seven of Pentacles. So, you're doing an assessment around what you're working on and asking yourself, is this worth it? So, this is landing in your second house of, as Em was saying, what you're resourced with, your talent, skills, gifts, and abilities that bring about your abundance and your security. So, you're asking yourself, is this worth it? Whatever I'm putting in, am I getting something back? I kind of get the sense that for some of you, this might need a deeper assessment. I get the sense for a lot of you, it actually is worth it. And you just need to reframe and think about what you're doing differently so you can bring through a new lease of life, a bit of that rebirth that we were talking about in your first house.
Yeah, great. Thanks, Fran. In the third house, we have the Eight of Wands. So something's going to come in really quickly around communication. Maybe it's your communication, Taurus, or someone else's communication and news for you. The wands are representative of ideas and passion. So something fiery is crackling in terms of how you're speaking, or how someone's speaking to you. And let's see how the clarifier says you can manage that.
Yeah, and I get the sense that what you're communicating, this quick momentum, you're talking about something, and then the manifestation of that is coming through. So perhaps watch what you say. In your third house of communication, oh, really
Hmm.
beautiful. You have the Two of Cups. So this is like a twin soul. This is attracting somebody that's not your usual type. So you could be communicating in a way that it's not your usual style, or perhaps being influenced in your communication style by this person who's quite other, but you kind of really dig them and they really dig you. So I feel like there's a lovely renaissance, a lovely rebirth in how you're communicating, what you're communicating, and the results of your communication. So watch your words, because manifestation's hot on the heels of whatever you're talking about, Taurus.
So good. And then in the fourth house, you have the Emperor card, the fourth house of chosen family, of all things familiar, your home. The Emperor, is there an Emperor type in your home environment? Is there someone that can be domineering or dictatory? But if not, this may be a really positive energy in your life at the moment. It could be something that you're needing to lean into in order to make the most of your home environment or your chosen family or your family, whoever it is that feels close to you. It's also got some Aries energy to this card that may require some quick action. The Emperor is very wise and he's got a lot of experience in battle. So, do you feel you need to be going into battle with anything, Taurus? If that's the case, this is a very positive omen for you. Um, if you're used to battling it out, maybe this is a time to sit back down on the throne and survey the lands. Just take the temperature of what's going on before stepping into that ring again. But if not, this could be asking you to challenge that. What's the clarifier saying?
Mm. Beautiful. Just as you were saying that, I got just popped into my head, read the room. Take that
Hmm.
as you will. In your fourth house of home, family, and chosen family, beautiful card, Queen of Pentacles. So she has birthed something. She is all about abundance. She's got vines growing around her. The vines in the tarot represent something that is very difficult to grow, requires great skill, but happens very easily for you. So you're able to manifest something with ease. She also nurtures something into being. So, wondering how this fits in with your home life. Do you need to create a home life, an environment that works better for you? Do you need a bit more nurturing in the home life, or does the home life generally just need a bit more nurturing? If you're not, if you're footloose and fancy free and sort of traditional home life doesn't apply to you, this is like your chosen family, or just really what home means for you, how you feel at home in the world. I would explore that a little bit more. What do you need to be surrounded by? And what's your internal environment like? So you can feel at home within yourself.
Yeah, good questions, Fran. Then in the fifth house, we have the World card. So the fifth house is all about creative expression and that inner child connecting back to that creative spirit. For you, Taurus, it's saying something has happened and you're feeling very complete with that at the moment, or maybe you will soon be feeling very complete. I think it's about taking stock with how you've already been able to express yourself. Taurus, you're very good at being connected to your senses, your sensuality, and that's not necessarily anything romantic or erotic. It's more about how you can connect through how you feel things in the environment, what you see, smell, and taste, things of beauty. So, and I'm getting that sense from this card anyway, very Venusian. So maybe it's about connecting to something around design or something around curating your home or curating your environment that feels satisfying and appeasing to the senses. What's the clarifier saying, Fran?
I just got a little flash there for you, Taurus. The beautiful world card showing up in your house of creative expression. I get the sense that you're working on a creative project and it's coming into completion, and there'll be a lot of success and recognition for you around that. And the clarifier is the Two of Pentacles. So Two of Pentacles is all about balance, work hard, play hard. So perhaps finding the space and carving out the time so you have that balance in your life for creative expression. I feel like this is almost being demanded of you. Don't put off the completion of your creative project. Yeah, I feel that that's really being asked very strongly of you, Taurus.
Yeah, it makes sense. And then in your sixth house, you have the Knight of Wands, the Knight of Wands in sixth house of work and making decisions, your discernment. Feels like there's going to be a decision coming in really fast and hot on the heels of whatever it is that you're trying to decide. The Knight of Wands could also be a person stepping in for you at work or making a decision that can lead to a sense of not so much conflict, but like, okay, we're doing this. This is going to be a challenge, but I can step up and do it. And it could also be the Knight of Wands in you, Taurus, of being excited for that passionate energy coming in. Um, if there's a choice that you have to make, I would say lean towards the one that brings more excitement and passion and that will waken your spirit up rather than the choice that could lead to I don't know, more of the same old. I feel like it's time for a change. What does the clarifier say, friend?
I agree, Em. I feel like maybe you need to take a risk in the workplace there, Taurus. Our clarifier, oh wow, beautiful, is Ten of Pentacles, best card in the deck, in the tarot. This is everything you could wish for, hope and desire. It's wish fulfillment. This bodes really well for you in the workplace. So the sixth house is work, it's also health, and what you're choosing, what sort of positive discrimination, choosing wisely, particularly around health. So I feel like choosing wisely, there may be a choice you need to make, and whatever that choice is that you make is going to bring through this great abundance for you, Taurus.
Mm. Thanks, Bran. And then in the seventh house, we have the Six of Pentacles. The Six of Pentacles is it's a card of charity, and it coming up in your house of relationships and connections and romantic interests. This could be asking you to pay attention to where you're giving out too much energy. Are you getting enough back in? How are you filling your cup and keeping that balanced? It's so easy for us in relationships, whether that's friendships, romantic, family, whatever it is, to forget about our own needs and our own boundaries. It could be that we're focusing so much on wanting something from the other person and not giving what we need ourselves back. So something that comes up for me when I see this card too is I was listening to this podcast and someone said, I wish I remember who it was. They said the hallmark of really, oh, the biggest symptom of traumatic experiences is hoping and expecting a difficult person to approve of you or change for you or like you. And it's really interesting, right? Because how often do we find ourselves pandering to the really difficult, challenging people in our lives and saying, oh, if only I won their approval. But actually, what if we just paid attention to what we needed? So that's the message I think coming through in the seventh house there. What's the clarifier saying, friend?
I love that. And give that approval to yourself,
Mm,
Taurus.
yeah.
In your in
Ooh.
your seventh house of relationship, you have also what we consider the best card in the deck of the tarot. You have the sun in your seventh house of relationship. This suggests if you're single that somebody's coming through for you, a very sunny person, a person where like all things are possible, kind of a blue sky thinker. If you're not single, this suggests that the sun is shining a light, as Em was saying, on areas that might need some attention in
Mm,
your relationship. But this is really positive. Like, in order to grow, we need the sun. So this suggests growth. So
mm.
really lovely, Taurus.
Great. And then in the eighth house, we have the Page of Wands. The Page of Wands is looking into, so this house of transformation and shared resources. It's about looking into that with curiosity and enthusiasm, and hopefulness, because it's about checking out what's actually available to us. This page is surveying the growths on his staff, and I guess it's suggesting something around this is fruiting. There's going to be something valuable here. So how can we make the most of that? How can we, I guess reap the rewards as much as possible from where we're standing? What's the clarifier card saying there, friend?
Yeah, I like that you said that, Em. I just got a real sense, Taurus, that something's budding in your life, like something's unfurling, and really nurture that into existence, because that too is transformation. Growth is transformation. Your eighth house is all about transformation. Oh wow, lovely. In your eighth house of transformation, you have the Knight of Cups. So this is our knight in shining armor. So I feel like this showing up in your eighth house of transformation is you're starting to show up as your own knight in shining armor. That's the transformation here. You're not looking for that knight in shining armor outwards. You're being that for yourself. And the beautiful catch here is as within, so without. So when we start showing up for ourselves in a certain way, we attract that on the outside. So for those of you that are single, I would say that what's going to transform your life. Is this, male or female, somebody with this energy, a knight in shining armor coming through for you? And I feel that's going to be quite transformative for both. If you're single and not looking for love, it's just like a little bit falling in love with yourself. Nice one, Taurus.
Yeah, cool. I was doing a reading for a friend the other night, and we noticed that pretty much everybody in the tarot deck, they look quite like androgynous. Like you can't really tell if they're male or female, except for the ones with a beard, maybe. But even then, who knows? It could be anything. It could be anyone coming into your life, Taurus. In
Mm.
the ninth house, we have the Eight of Pentacles. So this card in the ninth house of expansion, higher thinking, breaking free from the mold, developing your core values, your sense of self and sense of the world. This card is asking us to pay attention to all the work that we've already done again. So the pentacles are hanging up on the wall or the tree, whatever that is there in the background. And this person is toiling away at a pentacle, almost like just constantly. The apron on their back looks kind of tattered and worn out, and it's all blackened from maybe soot or work or wear or whatever. And if this person only just kind of sat back and looked up, they would probably be checking whether they need to work so hard or whether they need to doubt themselves anymore. Perhaps their work is spurred on by, a sense of, I'm not good enough, I'm not good enough, and just keep pushing, keep pushing. But if you recognize your worth and you already know that you are great enough, Taurus, this would be much easier to get the work done. So let's see what the clarifier says, friend.
I love that. I just got the sense this hard work landing in your ninth house of expansion. Jupiter rules the ninth house. Jupiter is all about expansion. Is that your work is expanding into something greater? So let's see what our clarifier says. Beautiful. This is interesting because the Three of Pentacles is about a work of incredibly high quality, so much so that it's receiving accolade and a lot of positive attention. So I feel like your hard work is going to lead to great expansion in terms of opportunity, abundance, and an expansion around what you feel is possible. How how exciting, Taurus.
Yeah, beautiful. 10th house Taurus, you've got this card. It's the Seven of Wands. I'm like, is it eight or seven? It's always seven. Seven of Wands in the 11th house of hopes and wishes. And I think it's
10.
networks, friendships, groups, that kind of thing. Oh, we're in 10th house. Sorry, I skipped ahead.
Oh, good.
We're in the
I
10th
always
house. So that's about public image, status, reputation. And it's interesting because in this image of the card, the person is kind of fighting their way through something. They're protecting their land. And I think it's got to do with setting a boundary, having conviction with what you're doing. And it's particularly, I think in this house, it's going to be revealing something very important about you, Taurus, when you can set those boundaries. And it says to people, don't mess with me, basically. You cannot get your way. If you're trying to sneak through my boundaries, it's not going to happen. So being very steadfast with that will help your reputation and also help people learn to trust you too. Not saying you aren't already doing that, but leaning into that energy a bit more at this time. What's the clarifying card saying, friend?
beautiful, M. Oh, very nice. The Knight
Oh.
of Wands. Have we already had this, M?
Yeah, and the sixth house is sixth house.
Oh, lovely. So Knight of Wands showing up in your career, your contribution to the world, your public face, your reputation. You've got a reputation of being quite the Knight of Wands. So he's
Mm.
a builder, he's full steam ahead, he's a risk taker. It's considered risk though. Look, he is rushing in, but I kind of get the sense with all of the preceding cards, it's like he's rushing in, but he knows what he's doing. This is informed energy. He's so enthusiastic and so believing in what's possible that he's full steam ahead. So this is exciting for your career, Taurus.
Hmm. Now, truly, in the 11th house, we have the Hanged Man in shared resources, dreams, hopes, and wishes. I feel like this card is asking you to dream a little. Where are you able to make some space and time to sit back and daydream and really expand your goals, what you're hoping for yourself, what you'd like to achieve in your life, what you want to grow in your relationships and with yourself. So the Hanged Man allows for whatever is to be, and in that space, there's insights that come. And it's not a struggle, it's not a fight or a conflict with yourself. When you're fighting against your real emotions, that's what can actually cause suffering. So when we make space and allow for anything we're feeling, then new things will come through and we'll learn so much more about ourselves than if we were fighting against ourselves. What's the clarifying card saying, Fran?
I love that. Some dream time. Lovely. In your 11th house of hopes, wishes, and dreams, you have the very beautiful Four of Wands. So, this is a card of completion. So, it suggests that what you're wishing for is entirely possible. It can come to fruition, it can come to completion. It's an incredibly celebratory card. So, as Em was saying, really take time to dream and to relax into those wishes. Dream big, like let your fantasies, really take you away, which is not a very Taurian thing. You're very grounded. You've got your 4 feet firmly on the ground, as in your bull self, your icon. But I would suggest just allowing yourself to lift off and ask yourself, what if? Because given this spread, what you can dream about, what you can wish for, and then start talking about can manifest, Taurus.
Mm, so good. And then in the 12th house, we have the devil. This is a good card to have in the 12th house, I think, because it's about the transformation you're needing. The devil will not shy away from lessons that need to be gained, but if he does that in a certain way, it's up to you, Taurus, how you kind of meet that challenge. In the 12th house, this is about all things hidden, about the secrets of the universe, things that are kind of lying in the shadow in your own consciousness, so subconscious. And the devil card sometimes represents things like addiction or coping. And what is underneath a coping or an addiction is a bit of a wound. So when we reflect on what we're hurting from, we can actually better identify what we're needing and then address that need, nurture it, meet it with whatever we need to do. So let's see how the clarifier says we can do that.
And there's so much fruitfulness in those wounds, in the exiled, rejected parts of ourselves. Our clarifier, interesting, is the Nine of Pentacles. The
Hmm.
Nine of Pentacles is pausing, and that's a pretty good thing to do in the 12th house of deep reflection into what's hidden, into uncovering more of the hidden self. So I think it's just asking you to pause and reflect on those exiled parts of yourself and maybe pick them up from underneath that dark rock, dust them off and bring them into the sunlight and cherish them and see their value, because Taurus, you're all about value. So value those discarded parts of yourself, and I think you'll be surprised what comes through.
Hmm, beautiful. What a successful reading, Taurus. A lot of wonderful, nourishing, and I guess really reassuring messages through this spread for the first half of November as we lead into the end of the year. So thanks for reading with us, and we'll see you in the next fortnight.